Now after this, if you open the Figma, so you can see that there is one floating player in the bottom, right? So we have to design this floating player as well. So to design this floating player, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create one component and we're gonna use it. All right, so let's go on the code, and I'm gonna close all the file. Okay, and I'm gonna collapse this all the components, and now after this I'm gonna inside the source directory. Inside the source we're gonna have a components, and inside the component I'm gonna create one another component that is called floating player .jsx, like this. Okay, and we're gonna name the component name as well by typing RNFES. all right, so we had created a floating player component. Okay, now if we go on the browser, if we check the Figma, so we are having first of all this image and the song title and the artist name, and after that we are having a 3 icon. Okay, so first of all let's add the image. To add the image, what we're gonna need, one image view. Okay, so let's integrate a one image view. So I'm gonna import the image from the React Native, as you can see that, and we're gonna need a source. Okay, and source need a URI. So I'm gonna create one here variable like currently static value const image URL, and we're gonna need an image. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go on this website, and after this I'm gonna open this image. So we are using this extension, like a view background image extension which I'm using. So you can click on this view background image and you can get the extension, we can get the image. So how you can get the extension, as I've already told you guys, you have to search view background image extension to get that image. All right, so you can install this extension. Once you install this extension, you are able to get the background image as well. So I got this background image URL, so I'm gonna copy this image URL. After that I'm gonna add this URL here. Okay, now once I add it here, I have to add this value to the URI. Okay, and after that I'm gonna write style is equal to styles dot cover image. Okay, let's add a cover image. Okay, now after this I'm gonna add a one height of this image. So for this cover image I'm gonna add a height of 40 for now, and width gonna be 40 as well, or basically a one or square. Now after that we're gonna export this, we're gonna use this floating player component to the home screen. So let's go on the screen, and inside the screen we are having a home screen. Here, as you can see that we are having a one view. Inside the view we are having header, and after that we are having a flat list. Okay, now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import this my floating player component like this. So I just import the floating player, as you can see that, and after that I'm gonna render this on the UI. Okay, now if you see on the UI, we are not able to see, we are able to see one image here on the bottom. Now if I reload it, still I think you can see it, one girl image. All right, now let's go to the floating player again, and let's go to the cover image. So instead of having a 40, I'm gonna make it 60 by giving a, let's give a sort. Okay, now 16 looks better, I think so. Okay, now after that if we go on the again Figma, so if I just select the image, so the image height and the width is 72, so we can increase the height as more. So I'm gonna make it 70 instead of 60. all right, you can increase or decrease the height regarding your adjustment. Now after that we're gonna have a one title, the song title. So we're gonna have a one title like this. So I'm gonna add one. First of all, if you see that the song title, how is it, the song title in a row, in a column direction. Okay, and we are having 3 more buttons, like go back and previous pause button and the next button. All right, so first of all what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna create one text like this. Okay, but that text will be inside the view, and I'm gonna have a one text like this. So let's add a text. Okay, the text value will be what, I'm gonna make it like chop and dust. I don't know which song is it, but let's add chop and dust. Okay, and after that I'm gonna add a author name as well. So author name will be Alan Walker, which I love it. Okay, because I don't know, but yeah, I like the song of Alan Walker. After that I'm gonna style this as well. So style is equal to styles dot title. Okay, now to style the title, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write this title styling here. So the color is what, the color will be colors dot primary, colors dot text primary, like this, text primary. Okay, now once we're done with the text primary, as you can see that we are getting the text primary at the below of this image, which we don't want that. Okay, so we'll also figure it out. First of all, we want like this. Okay, how we want, let me do it like that. So first of all, here we're gonna have a view. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make, flex is a 1. So I'm gonna write style is equal to styles dot title container. All right, now I'm gonna copy this title container, and here I'm gonna add one style here. So I'm gonna write flex is a 1. So whatever the height and width is left, so it's gonna took that. Okay, now if you see that text has been removed, or we can't see that text, so let me add a font size. The font size currently is gonna be static of 18. Okay, still I can't see that font size. All right, so for that, what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna make this the title contains a flex is a 1. All right, now before that, what I'm gonna do, once more thing, that is called here the view I'm gonna make it style, and I'm gonna write like styles dot container. Okay, and this container is gonna be like this. Let's add that as well quickly. Flex direction as a row. So let's see, if I make it flex direction as row, we can see the text as well. All right, now if you see that the height of the image, it's looking well, it's looking well. Okay, and after that, we added the chop and dust as well. Now the font size will be, what I feel, the font size dot large. If I make it large, let's see how it's looking well. And the font family is like Gulrai medium. So let's add that medium font family as well. So font family will be font families dot medium. All right, so I added the font family as a medium, and after that we're gonna need another thing that is called artist name. So we're gonna write style is equal to styles dot artist. All right, so let me copy this is artist as well. After that, let's paste here, and after that we're gonna write the color will be gonna be what color, my bad, the color will be colors dot text secondary. Okay, now if you see that, we are able to see that text as well. And the font size, if I talk about the font size, so it will be font size dot, my bad, font size dot medium, if I make it medium. All right, now we can see that. Awesome. Now after that, what we gonna do, if you see on the Figma, we need some padding, some spacing from here as well. So let's add some padding as well. So what I'm gonna do here, to the title container, I'm gonna add some padding. Horizontal will be 20. Okay, now I think it's looking well. Okay, now inside the flex direction row, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write one more thing that is called align item center. Okay, now if you see this, you can see that the text is coming on the center. All right, now instead of having a padding horizontal as 20, I'm gonna make it 10. Okay, so we're gonna use this spacing dot medium. And what is the value of medium? If I check out, it's 16, so I'm gonna make it small. And what is the value of small? The small value is like almost 8, and it's looking well, pretty well. Now after this title, after this image and the title and this, what we need that is called this button, previous button and play pause button and the next button. All right, for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another component here inside this components directory. The name of that component gonna be player controls controls.jsx. all right, now I'm gonna create first of all this previous button. Okay, so I'm gonna write here const go to previous button, go okay, let's write like this, previous button. All right, for this I'm gonna write like this. Okay, and we're gonna have a return. Inside this return we're gonna have a touchable opacity. Inside the touchable opacity we need this kind of icon, right? This icon. So how we can get this icon? So we're gonna go onto the React Native vectors icon directory. So I'm gonna search React Native vector icon directory. Here if you see on the Figma, this is called next button or previous button, not next, it's a previous button. All right, so we went to the React Native vector directory, and here we have to search previous. Okay, and we can see one icon of previous, so it could not like previous. I think forward, backward, if I write backward. Okay, so we can see that we are getting one icon that is called font awesome 6, and we're gonna use this backward icon. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this backward icon. Okay, but we need this kind of icon, right? So let's see again. Again, it's not like this. Let's give a short one more, backward or previous. And if you see that we can't get that outline, this we can get this outline icon, skip to previous outline. So I'm gonna use this material community icons. So I'm gonna just copy this. All right, now after that I'm gonna use it like this, skip material community icons. Okay, now I have to also import this icon as well. So I'm gonna write import material community icons from React Native vectors icons. Okay, so let's import that, and after that we're gonna write material community icon, material community icons. All right, now after that I'm gonna write name is equal to, what is the name? If I go on the browser again, so the name is called skip previous outline. Okay, so I'm gonna write skip previous outline like this. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna make it like previous button, or like make it go to previous button, go to previous button. I'm gonna copy this component name, and I'm also gonna export this as well. So export const go to previous button. All right, now I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna go to the floating player. Okay, inside this floating player, as we can see that we are having a title container, so we're gonna have another container as well here, and I'm gonna name is like before that I'm gonna just paste that go to previous button component here. All right, now after this I'm gonna name it like style is equal to styles dot player control container. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this again, the name and player control container, and here we gonna add that as well. All right, before that let's go to the go to previous button. Okay, here we had not added the size, so I'm gonna add a size by default. The by default size will be size like this. Okay, and here what we're gonna do, here we're gonna have a size prop, and by default the size will be sizes. Okay, icon size dot lg. If you see the lg size, what is the lg size? It's 32, not a big deal. Okay, and the color will be what? Let's add the color as well. The color will be colors dot we have to import the colors as well from the constants colors dot icon primary. Now if you see on the Figma, we are able to see this icon as well. All right, now if we want to make it like much more Excel, so we can make it Excel as well. So if I just write it Excel, you can see that. All right, now if you see that this icon is coming on too much right direction, we want something on this center. All right, so for that what we're gonna need, we're gonna make another button as well, that is called play pause button. Okay, so for that I'm gonna search again play button. So if you see the play button, all right, so we need this kind of UI, not two line. So let's search it. So if we scroll down further, so I can't see a two line a button, a 2-line icon, something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna use something different. So I'm gonna use this font awesome 6 icon, that is called play icon. So let's use this font autumn 6. Okay, and I'm gonna again go to the player control component. Here I'm gonna create another component, export const play pause button. Okay, and I'm gonna again make it like this. I'm gonna return as well. Okay, now once you return, inside that I'm gonna add a touchable opacity. So let's import the touchable opacity as well, and here I'm gonna use the font awesome 6 icon. Okay, like this. So to use the font awesome 6 icon, what we have to do, supposed to do basically, so first of all we have to import this font awesome 6 as well. To import this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write import font awesome 6 like this from react native vectors icon. Okay, and slash font awesome 6. All right, like this. Once you're done with that, to use that icon, we are gonna again copy this name, font awesome 6. I'm gonna add a name of this icon. So I'm gonna name is what for now. If you see on the Figma on the browser, we need this kind of icon, play. So let's copy this icon, and I'm gonna add this name as of play. Okay, now if you see that we are not able to see anything on the UI. All right, not a big deal. Okay, now after that we're gonna again need some make them size as a dynamic. Basically we can pass the size from the component as well. So we're gonna have a size, and by default value what, by default will be icon size dot large. Okay, like this. And I'm gonna write like this, size is equal to, let's add a size as well. So size is equal to size, and the color, let's add the color as well. Color will be colors dot icon primary, colors dot icon primary. Now if you see that we are not able to see anything on the UI because we have to render that as well. So I'm gonna copy this play pause button, and let's go to the floating play. Let's go to the floating player. Inside the floating player, if you see that we are just rendering this go to previous button. Now we have to render another button, another component that is called play pause button component. Okay, before using that, make sure to import this as well. So let's see. Now we had imported the play pause button as well, but if you see that the play pause button is coming in a column direction, but we want in a row direction. All right, so to make this possible, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this style container name. Okay, and let's style this. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make flex direction as a row. Okay, once we make it the flex direction as a row, I'm gonna make again okay, I'm not gonna do anything else because all line item center is already applying from the top. So I'm not gonna do again, but let's me again write it as well. So align items will be center. Okay, now after that let's go back. Now once we go to the previous button, so here what we're gonna do, we're gonna see that if its play is true. Okay, let's suppose if some property is true, so we're gonna show the pause button, else we're gonna show the play button as well. So I'm gonna write like that case as well. So play and pause, and here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write like this. All right, and if you see that we are getting some error. Okay, so let's make it like this. Instead of having a single braces, we're gonna need a double curly braces, and we're gonna add a one thing that is called true property. If it's true, then we're gonna have a pause button, some kind of. So it's gonna be basically a one condition that will check that if song is playing, then show the pause button, else show the player button. Okay, now if you see that we can get rid of this true question mark, and if it's true, then we're gonna render the pause button, else if we're gonna show the play button. Okay, now let's see on the Figma. All right, now as you can see that we are able to see the play button, a play icon. All right, now let's go to the again back. So we had created the component, go to previous button and go to next. Now we have to create another button that is called go to next button. To create that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this component name. All right, so let me copy this component name. Okay, now after that I'm gonna come to the below of this code, and I'm gonna write go to next button, or go to next button, go to next button. All right, and instead of having a previous, I'm gonna name it forward, I think so, forward. And now if you see that, we are not able to see anything on the UI because we are not rendering something on the UI, like we are not rendering this component. All right, so now let's render this as well. So we went to the floating player. Okay, now inside the floating player, what we are having a one player control container, and inside that we are having now we are going to import this go to next button component as well, like this. Now as you can see that we are able to see 3 icon. Okay, but this last icon is looking too weird, so let's go to the go to next button. Okay, now we're gonna search this forward icon. So instead of having a play, I'm gonna search a forward or next icon. So for the next, I'm gonna use this icon. I'm gonna use forward icon. All right, so let me copy this again, and let's go to this here, and I'm gonna use like this extension. So let's use it as well, forward icon. Oh, that's looking too weird, so I'm gonna use the font awesome 6 instead of having a material community icons. All right, now if you see that, it's still looking too weird, which I don't prefer it. Okay, so I'm gonna use this forward step instead of having a forward. So I'm gonna again make it zoom. Let's go zoom out, and here I'm gonna write forward step. Okay, now let's check on the Figma. Now as you can see that we are able to see this font awesome 6 icon. All right, but let's make a consistency, so I'm gonna use the font awesome 6 icon only. So instead of having a material community icons, we're gonna use font awesome 6 icon, and here we are going to use the place of name. We had passed up some Pakistani name, so I'm gonna pass some Indian name as well. All right, so let's do that as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the React Native vectors icons, and I'm gonna search backward. Okay, now if you see the backward, we are getting this stuff backward icon, so I'm gonna use this icon as well. So use that, I'm gonna write replace it here. Okay, now if you see on the Figma, we are able to see that all the icons, but we can't see any gap. All the contents are overlapping to each other. So let's go to the floating player. We are having player control container, and here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write gap as a 25. If I write the gap as a 25, now you can see that there are some gap between this icon. All right, so I'm gonna make it, instead of having a 25, I'm gonna make it 20. You can modify this height and width accordingly okay, now same for this forward. So I'm gonna use the same icon for the forward. Okay, so I'm gonna use this font awesome 6 forward icon, font awesome 6 forward, instead of having a forward step. So let's use that as well. So let's go to the player controller. Here we are having a font awesome 6. Okay, and I'm having this forward icon. Okay, so let's add this forward icon as well. So quickly I'm just added here. Okay, now let me reload this. Now if you see that the font size, the icon size looking too much bigger, which is not good for me, which I really feel. All right, so to define a height of this icon, what we gonna do, I'm gonna add one property that is called size. Okay, so let's add a size property, and here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write a property icon size dot medium. Okay, now let's add the icon size medium, and same for this go to next button as well, and we're gonna have a here as well for this play pause button as well. So I'm gonna make it icon size dot medium. Okay, now if you see on the Figma, we are able to see that as well. Now let's go to the player control container. Instead of having a gap as a 20, I'm gonna make it the gap of 10. All right, now after that we're gonna need some margin, some padding, vertical padding right as well. Padding right will be spacing dot large. Okay, so it's gonna need some spacing as well.